Hello, welcome back to the Cricket Nerds. Today we are doing our review of 2022, what I've liked, what we haven't liked, but we're talking about cricket. Firstly, thank you so much for all your support that you've given us over the last however many weeks. It's been awesome. And continue to do that, continue to subscribe, tell your friends, leave us likes, comments, all of that. It really is appreciated. So today, let's just get straight into it. Our favourite moments in cricket from 2022. James, kick us off.
I'm going to kick us off with one that you might not remember. It was Ashwin retiring out in the IPL. It was the most Ashwin thing to do. It was pure tactics, and anything that involves Ashwin is always going to be quite funny. So yeah, that's the one. That's one that I've picked out. I've got a backup here of Nortgear getting absolutely taken out by the spider cam the other day. That was also a very strong moment.
Nice. I had a few comedy moments of the year. We all remember from the start of the year. Stop moving the robot during the Ashes in Australia. Was that this year or was that 2021?
I think that was this year.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was this year.
Who knows? Who knows?
Was it last year? They all blur into one, don't they?
Honestly, I don't think the Ashes happened, did it? I'm pretty sure that wasn't a thing that occurred. I've wiped that from my memory, certainly.
Then the resurgence from that moment, from England having a horrible time in the Ashes, England having a horrible time in the West Indies, to the Bazball movement over the summer, to my favourite moment, which was Johnny Bairstow at Trent Bridge smashing New Zealand all over the place on day 4, I think it was. And me and James running into Trent Bridge to see the final runs being scored.
Yeah, that was so good. That was
not
really
actually being let in, but we were like, there's 10 runs left. And they finally let us in and we were able to see the winning runs. I don't think Bairstow scored them. It was Stokes and Folkes, but what an awesome moment of this year. Zach, what were your best cricketer moments?
I've got two that stick out. I enjoyed the IPL this year. I thought it was good that we got to see 10 teams, and it was good for the cricket nerds in terms of we tried our best to upload every day. We missed off the odd day, but it was a good challenge. Really enjoyed the IPL. And also the one that happened toward the end of the year, but it was just a brilliant moment in cricket, was James Anderson's delivery to get rid of Mohammad Rizwan. The way it just swung in, seamed, hit top of off. It was beautiful. And we've seen a lot of James Anderson wickets, and that was up there as one of my favourites from him. So, and that was one of my favourite moments of this year in terms of cricket. So yeah, it was awesome. But Ben, you mentioned Bazball, and that was one of the things which really surprised me this year is England's resurgence in Test cricket. Given that they'd won 1 in 17 matches or 16 matches before Stokes and McCullum took over, we had the lowest of the low at the end of that West Indies series earlier this year. And then we've just won 9 in 10 Test matches or 8 in 9 Test matches. It's just, that has really surprised me.
I'm exactly the same. I wrote the same thing down. I think your second question was what surprised you this year, and I just wrote Bazball.
Yeah.
Nobody expected that. I think from the absolute depths that England Test cricket was at, and I'm seeing like a reflection in it now in this current series that's going on between South Africa and Australia, where South Africa are getting absolutely battered. Like they look completely outclassed. And it's exactly the same as England were. And people are asking the same questions like, should England even bother being like, should England be an associate nation? Like just the really over the board questions. And yeah, I think Bazball itself really surprised me. Another thing was Gujarat Titans winning the title, because in our preview we'd all absolutely rinsed them. We said no, they've got no chance. They haven't got balance. And it turns out they were just really good.
I think for me is even though Joe Root's been out of form for his last bit of Test match of this year, he's still the second highest run scorer this year. He's still only second to Babar Azam. He scored 1,098 runs this year. Didn't quite have as much of a stellar year as he did in 2021. But even though he seemed out of form in the second half of the year, his first half was so incredible that he, still scored over 1,000 runs this year. What else surprised me? I agree. Bazball was something that no one expected. And actually, England winning the T20 World Cup as well. That was a pretty, I think that we're one of the two favourite teams going into it. But for sure, the way that they did it, and actually the domination that they showed in that World Cup, I was like, I didn't really think that would happen going into this. And seeing the way that they did that was awesome.
Another thing that surprised me is the most unassuming cricketer, Scott Boland, finishing the year with a bowling average of about 11. It's like, how has he? Like when he first played against England, I know it was the Boxing Day Test match. I think that he came in, so we're kind of 2021, but also just the forms continued this year. He's the most unassuming guy who you think would be averaging 11 with the ball in Test match cricket. But he just picks up wickets for fun.
The man's played 5 matches and taken 21 wickets this year, an average of 13.6.
Ridiculous. So that's what surprised us. But this year, I feel like there are things which we could take or leave, right? Things that maybe we could think, well, cricket doesn't really need this. I've got a few things in my mind, but I'll let you guys go first if you've got anything.
I want to hear what you said.
Yeah, I'm quite intrigued.
You've set us up.
You've set us up now. So
a bit of mystery there.
Personally, I'm not. I could take or leave the 100. It's not. I know Trent Rockets. They're my home team, and they were. But I didn't really watch much of the 100 this year. It's kind of is there. I'm not too bothered about it. Probably controversial opinion. I feel like you guys quite like the 100. I don't know.
I at the start of the year, I could take or leave the upcoming rule changes. I was like, not sure how I feel about these. I think as we've gone through the year, the penalty. So essentially, when the batsman gets out through a catch, the new batsman's always on strike. I think that works quite well. I think that rule change actually fits. I think that's okay. What I'd leave though is moving the mancad from unfair play to run out. I think it's just it doesn't sit right with me. I think it's not the right way to go about it. I think there should be a different form of penalty for the batsman. There's a perfect way to sort it out, but realistically, it's just such a stupid part of the game that is so. And the fact that was the way that the India women's team beat the England's women's team when it was looking like Charlie Dean was going to go on and score a fantastic 50 in that match. Just ridiculous, I think. So
leave your hate in the comments below. If you are a fan of the mancad, let Benji know aggressively and personally.
Well, it's almost like it's whether you're a fan of Ashwin or not. That's what it comes down to. Because today there was a mancad opportunity, or yesterday there was a mancad opportunity from Mitchell Stark, who just turned around and warned the South African batsman. I can't remember who was at the non-strikers end when it happened.
Over here or something.
It was De Bruyne.
De Bruyne.
And he just said, you know what? You're backing up a far way.
He just went, give you that. There was a clip of him going, "Stay in your crease, mate. It's not hard."
Yeah, which is fine. It's not. But I think that's the noble way, rather than mancadding someone and then after the game saying, "We gave you lots of warning," and the opposition like,
and it
no,
was
you
the
didn't.
Fact that she celebrated. Sorry.
Right. Well, to tell you what I can take or leave. I will take the 100. I like it. I think it's serving its purpose in bringing new people into the game, and I think it's an accessible version. I still think it's a bit gimmicky, like the fact that it is 100 balls instead of 120. if people can't do maths that works in overs of 6, then they frankly don't deserve a beautiful game like like cricket. But that being said, I think it's being marketed really well in the UK. It's getting lots of young kids excited about cricket, and the more kids that are excited, the more adults that will end up playing. So, in that respect, all in for the 100. As far as what I will leave, I think the conversations around the Mancad dipping into kind of racial and or is it like imperial undertones? That's kind of where we got on some articles. Some people were saying that, well, England and Australia, they don't like the Mancad because they're racist, and it's like, right, okay, that I feel like you've just brought in unnecessary negativity there. I think each country deserves the right to complain and whinge about something that is completely legal in the game. In the same way that if you get bowled LBW, then you have every single right to say, nah, that was missing. Even as a professional, and it's saying it's hitting the bottom of middle, you have the absolute right to say, nah, that was going over all day. So, I think I would like to reserve the right for everybody to complain about things that they have absolutely no right to complain about. Moving on, best batter and best bowler of each format. Is that the next question, Zach?
Yeah, I think Zach had more to say on I think Zach had more to say on that topic.
And more complaining to do.
I just something else came to mind of what about that England-Australia one-day series?
Oh, I'd leave that. Blimey.
Yeah.
Which one?
Leave that.
Don't even remember it.
Yeah. Anyway, who do you think has been the best batsman? Right, they don't have to be the best. Your favourite batsman in Test match cricket, and why?
Johnny Bairstow. Mine. I think this year he had the absolute summer of his life. He had the year of his life till he got injured.
Yeah,
playing golf
on a golf course.
I think he got 100 in Australia earlier in the year. He got 100 in the West Indies, and then he had just the phenomenal summer against New Zealand and India. And just seeing him playing there, just free hitting was fantastic. And for my emerging player, I'm going to look at Harry Brook because he's been wonderful. I think the confidence that he's shown against Pakistan was really good, and you can tell that he's got some maturity in that, and I think we've got years and years and years out of him as the England side. Looking a bit further afield than England.
Are you just stealing all the options?
No, it just because it's ironic that this is coming from me, because it pains me to say it, and it hurts me deep down here, but I need to give a nod of appreciation to David Warner. Sorry to David Warner, because to score 200 on your 100th test, I mean, it's a great thing. He is a good batsman. He's been phenomenal in test matches all these years. You can probably say he's one of the best opening batsmen in world cricket right now. And yeah, he played really well. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything else about him that's nice.
All right. I definitely think David Warner is absolutely brilliant. However, he is not my test batter of the year. I've got one serious one, or two serious ones, and then kind of silly one. So my two serious ones, who I genuinely think have been absolutely outstanding. Marnus Labuschagne. I think he plays some of the nicest shots in the world. Beautiful cricket. And Shubman Gill. Obviously, he's only played in the recent ones, but again, it's that stroke play that I just think is absolutely outstanding. Anybody that can hit on drives and cover drives, I'm a big fan of. And then my other favourite Test batsman this year has been Trent Boult, becoming the highest run scoring number 11. and he's still absolutely brilliant. Stump mics were invented for Marnus Labuschagne and Trent Bolt, and I'm so glad that that's the case. So yeah,
Not
those
now.
yeah, not this time.
I would say the best batsman this year, as well as in Test match cricket. I think Babar Azam is obviously done well in favourable conditions, and he's done well. Well, he can play all over the world. We've seen that. So he's also. It's obvious he's had a really good year. But another player who you might not have thought about is Usman Khawaja, who's actually outscored Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne this year, and he's played the same number of games. And I think he was someone who was in and out of that Australian team, and he's really cemented himself in there. And what we're seeing with Australia is their top 6, even 7, if you look at Alex Carey at number 7, they are building quite a solid team to take on England in the Ashes. But that's that.
Yeah, let's just hope the Saffers injure them a bit more in the next test.
Oh yeah, true. Or just rely on Spider-Cam. Just
knock them
Spider-Cam will do its job. It'll take them out.
Should we keep going with batsmen and just say our favourite batsman in one-day/T20 cricket?
Yeah,
because one-day cricket's been a bit irrelevant this year. Next year it'll be more relevant when it's the World Cup. But one-day batsman, I'll kick things off. Surya Kumar Yadav, I'll take that one out of the equation. He's been very good. But also, I think Shreyas Iyer has been a bit of a revelation in the Indian team as well. He's looked very strong with the bat in one-day cricket and 2020 cricket to an extent. So
and Test cricket.
And Test cricket. He's just had a good year as well. So yeah, I think for me, one-day and 2020 batsman Shreyas Iyer has been looking pretty solid. All the Indian players have been doing well for the bat, so can't really go wrong there. What about you guys?
I'm gonna say for me for T20, because you've mentioned the obvious with Surya Kumar Yadav. Mohammad Rizwan was in there as well. He's had a phenomenal year. But I'm gonna go with Sikandar Raza. He's played 24 matches this year and he scored 735 runs in T20, and he's actually fourth, in this year's list of top run scorers in T20. He's above Babar Azam. He's above everyone else. The only people that are above him is Kohli, Rizwan, and Sky. They're the only 3 players that have scored more runs this year in T20 than Sikandar Raza. So phenomenal. I think for coming from playing for Zimbabwe, who as an associate nation they don't play Tests anymore.
They do occasionally. They played against Pakistan this
occasional Tests, but they're not often.
No,
they're not a mainstay in sort of the Test match arena. Seeing that there is still talent created from there is phenomenal, and that talent isn't just taken by England and South Africa. Because I think the overall player of the year for T20s has to be Mr. Sam Curran, surely.
Fair enough.
He's been very good. So I'm gonna. I'm not even going to bother talking about an ODI batter of the year because I think you guys have mentioned all the good ones. To be completely honest, I think Rishabh Pant is quite underrated in ODIs. That is worth saying. However, my white ball batter of the year that isn't Sky is going to be David Miller. He had an absolutely outstanding start to the year, at least. It was only really towards the end that he started to drop off a little bit, but he still played some incredible knocks. He was a match winner, proven through and through. Absolutely outstanding from him. And without him, Gujarat Titans would certainly not have won the title. And he also just boosted that South African side hugely in so many bilaterals. So, yeah, David Miller for me. Should we move on to bowlers?
Yeah, before we do, I just wanted to shout out one player who, kind of going off what Benji said about Sikandar Raza, and that's Liton Das, who across all formats for Bangladesh has done really well this year. And Bangladesh players don't really get a lot of attention unless you're Shakib Al Hassan because he's kicked a stump down or something. So Liton Das, he's had a really good year. He's in like the top 15, 20 run scorers across all formats. So in Tests individually and one days individually and 2020s individually. So yeah, he's had a really good year. But yeah, bowlers, Test matches. Who are we going with?
Who wants to go first?
I'm going to say Trent Bolt.
Okay.
I think he's been very good, and the fact that he hasn't, he obviously then relinquished his central contract. But I think as far as like just being an outstanding player and match winner, he was like, especially thinking about the tour that New Zealand had to England, he was unstoppable. Like, he was absolutely unplayable. And I think he's in his kind of back end, maybe just coming out of his prime, but I think this year was one of his best, and I was very, very impressed with his bowling.
I've got two. My top is Kagiso Rabada, who inside of a South Africa team that's been struggling this year, has still managed to top the wicket taking for this whole year. Well, he's actually tied with Nathan Lyon on 47 wickets, so we can see how that's going to change in the rest of that Australia. That's it now. They've now finished their next Test matches in 2023. So yeah, that's where they've got to. They're just so high up. But also, in terms of really coming into his own role and becoming that frontline attack of the bowling, I've been really impressed with Jack Leach this year. I think he's shown like wonderful maturity, growth, where previously Leach didn't look like he was much of a wicket taker, much of a threat. He's actually been England's highest wicket taker this year. And I know we've had a tour in the subcontinent where, it's been heavy, but in the West Indies too, when it was quite a flat surface, he was the number one wicket taker there. So yeah, I'm in terms of Test matches, I think Jack Leach has done really well.
I've got two as well. For me, the one I'm most impressed with coming back into the England side is Ollie Robinson, who he's the Glenn McGrath of England bowling at the moment in terms of just bowling those accurate liner lengths and picking up key wickets. And the other one who I think is going to be, if the board allows it and they get lots of Test matches, he could be one of the top wicket takers, and that's Marco Jansen. He just picks up wickets for fun. Tall, left arm, very good bowler, and also a very decent bat as well. I think he's arguably South Africa's best all-round cricketer at the moment. So yeah, he's had a very good year. So we'll ignore one-day matches because it's basically no one's really played them. 2020 bowler for me, he's the highest wicket taker in 2020 internationals this year, and that's Josh Little, who has picked up an IPL contract. It didn't matter what team he came up against in the T20 World Cup. He was economical and he picked up wickets. So for me, Josh Little has been the standout 2020 bowler this year.
I'm going to go for another left arm quick. And it's my boy. It's my boy Arshdeep, because I think he's continued to rise. And from being this, uncapped player that Punjab, just they like the look of him, to being like one of the premier fast bowlers in the world. I think he's just done so well. For such a young guy, he keeps such a level head. So yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant, I think. And then the other one is obviously who Benji named as just player of the year, and that's Sam Curran. I think the fact that he has learned not only how to bowl in the middle overs, because previously people only really saw him as an opening bowler, and now he's seen as like a middle over difference maker and one of the best death bowlers in the world.
Yeah, a very good year.
To create that much utility for himself is absolutely incredible. So those are the two for me. What about you, Benj?
The other person that I want to shout out is Wanedu Hasaranga de Silva. I think for Sri Lanka, he's been their premier player all the way through this year. He had a really good IPL at the start of the year. He was phenomenal during the World Cup. I think it was the highest wicket taker during the T20 World Cup. And yeah, as a T20 bowler and T20 leg spinner, he's just a demon. I'd love to see him play in a Test match. See if he can be sort of the next Muralitharan. Can he be the next Muralitharan? potentially, but he's just a phenomenal player all around. But yeah, looking forward then. That's 2022 wrapped up. What are we excited for in cricket for 2023?
The IPL, the One Day World Cup, the Ashes in England, not the 100.
Oh,
Anything else?
Now, I'm gonna say
You've said all the good
cricket
things,
nerds-
Zach.
the cricket nerds
Of
reaching
course.
1,001 subscribers.
Yes.
Yes.
Because at the moment we've got 2 days to get another 175 subscribers to get our 1,000 goal for the year. It's not looking too good for us. So please, if you've got this far, help us out. So yeah, the cricket nerds meteoric rise is what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to doing more live streams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Live streaming some games and just generally having a good chat about cricket with you guys. What else am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to the IPL, seeing how the impact sub rule works. And then yeah, ODI World Cup, that's gonna be a good one. And just more baseball, please. More tasty baseball.
Wow,
Yes.
you said all the things. There's not really much else in there, is there?
I'm
That
sure
we
you can
talk
think of
about. Looking
something.
forward to
I'm
cricket.
looking forward to Benji pronouncing some Indian players' names wrong.
Because
Nathan Naranjan, come back.
I actually am looking forward to seeing Jofra Archer come back from injury, because I think that he's had a torrid time of it, and I think as just a player, he's so phenomenal. He should have been one of the highest IPL contracts ever in the last 2 years. He should be on and cashing in all the time, but because of this injury, he's just had such a horrible time. And yeah, I'm looking forward to having more Cricket Nerds content with you two boys. It's been great this year. I think we've really enjoyed it. Doing some more live stuff, as you said, James, some more real life cricket stuff, some nets videos, that type of thing. Yeah, I'm excited for the content that we're going to bring. And yeah, just enjoying it and playing cricket. We've not mentioned that, but I'm really excited to play cricket again this summer. But there we
Golf is
go.
all right, but it's no cricket, is
It's
it?
no cricket. Anyway, that has been
Yes.
Cricket Nerds review of 2022. I hope you enjoyed it. Tell us if you agree or if you disagree. Use strongly worded words if you'd like. Strongly worded words. That's that's going to be clipped. And then yeah, thank you for all of your support. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. We enjoy doing this, and it's nice that other people enjoy doing it as well. Follow us on all our social medias. Listen to us on other streaming services. Anything from you two boys before we finish the year?
Just a thank you. We have really enjoyed it. It's been another really good, fun year of doing Cricket Nerds. I think this is our first proper year of doing it like committed, and it's been brilliant. So yeah, more of the same next year.
Cool.
Happy baseball.